Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rams Talk here. This is our debut show here on YouTube. Of course, I am E alongside my partner Jay. You have seen us from other programs, but we want to welcome you on our debut show here on YouTube. We're also simulcasting this on Podbean with Sports Talk. And partner, my friend Jay, welcome to the new show. You ready to talk some football for this season?
Let's get it, partner. I'm very excited. First show. Let's see how these things go, and let's get it. Rams talk with
Well,
Andrew.
we Well, we know we know the draft's in the books. We've seen
Right.
the Rams picks, the schedule's out. Let's talk about the season recap for the Rams. 10-7 last season, won the NFC West for the fourth time in the last 8 years under Sean McVay. Of course, the heartbreaking loss at the hands of the Eagles in the divisional playoffs. Rams went 11-8 overall, looking to get back to the playoffs and looking to get another Super Bowl. And partner, based on what happened last year, how much anger does this team have after losing such a close game?
Yeah, I think the Rams coming into the season is they're gonna have a lot of anger and confidence to get back into that NFC division round because we were a couple yards away from making it to the Super Bowl, So
More like 17 yards.
yeah, 17 to be exact. So this is gonna give them
But, but
kind
here's
of
the one thing though. Here's the one thing that still like rides my mind.
right.
This team, like they get in the first meeting last year, and we'll talk about this more in a bit. They got blown out and they gave up a lot of rushing yards. This time around, they gave up a lot of rushing yards, but it was a close game. Like how often do you see that happen? Normally, when you outrun someone, it's a dominant score, but here we see it was just a 6 point loss.
Yeah, we fought to the end. To the last seconds ran out, and especially in that tough environment in that snow, which was pretty affected a lot of plays in the game and a lot of forced fumbles that were fortunate on our side, but hopefully we run it back this year.
Sean McVay entering his ninth season as the Rams coach. Of course, he's been to two Super Bowls. He won Super Bowl 56. He's won four division titles in 8 years. He's only missed the playoffs twice. I mean, how much importance is for Sean McVay to have a great year, knowing that I'll say this, he's got a lot of coaching like Bill Belichick, all these proteges that are being spread out in the league now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be big for him, but I think that confidence is there with McVay in that locker room. He trusts the guys, all the guys around him, all those coaches that be with him one year, then the next year another team takes them as a head coach. That tells you how great Sean McVay has been as a coach, and overall he's been doing fantastic. And hopefully it continues to build this year and to the next one, which in 2 years the Super Bowl will be back at SoFi, which hopefully we could see
Yeah.
it too.
It'll be nice to see that. But meanwhile, the schedule is out, so let's show you what the Rams have in store for this 2025 season. Of course, we're going to start with three preseason games. First game, as we get it ready to show you here on the screen, I'll go ahead and go ahead. They have two home games and one road playoff game, a road game. So August 9th, they'll take on the Cowboys at SoFi. Then on August 16th, they'll take on the Chargers, Battle of LA, and then they'll wrap up the preseason against the Browns on the 23rd. Again, don't expect the starters to play, but now the regular season, week one, they open up against Texans. Partner, the last time they played this team was in the Super Bowl year, 2021. Rams dominated. What do you say? This one's a win, or is it different?
I believe the Rams come out with a victory here opening week. You know, even though it's not, is it at home? No, no, partner. Well,
It's at home as a home opener.
that'll be perfect for the Rams. And I think Texans are coming off of disappointing year, and they still have some injuries around them. So I think we could win that first game at home.
Their playoff drought, playoff hopes ended in Kansas City again. This is a different Texans team than last time. They got a great quarterback. They have a good running game. They do have defense, so it'll be um it'll be a big one there at SoFi. We look at week two. They go on the road at Tennessee. That should be a winnable game. Partner Tennessee still looking to rebound, but
Yes,
we see the big matchup here. Week three, they go to Philly for the rematch of that playoff loss. You know that you know that's going to be on their mind.
gonna be a crucial one because and I love it. It's already early in the season we're gonna have that rematch. Ooh, that's gonna be a good game.
Question is, can they stop Saquon Barkley and their quarterback? Because that was a 1-2 combination that really put the Rams deep in the hole, even though it was a close one. But that defense gave it all they had, especially one verse number 8. He played his heart out despite the trash talking. He went there and he walked it.
So this,
Continuing on, I'm sorry, partner. What was that you said?
oh yeah, Jared Verse till this day talks about that game and he wants it back. He wants
Oh,
that.
he's gonna get his chance, that's for sure. We continue on week 4. They play the Indianapolis Colts at home. That should be a winnable game, partner. Not sure who's quarterback in that one, but that should be a winnable game. And then we're looking at week 5, the first primetime game, Thursday night football. I believe the Rams are in 5 games this year on primetime, and the first one against their rivals, the 49ers, who, by the way, Brock Purdy yesterday agreed to contract extensions to stay with the 49ers. How important was that for them?
I'm surprised. There's a lot of talks between if they were gonna resign him or not, but as
There were talks that they were going to release him too or trade him.
I trade him or release him, but as you clarified, that was officially announced of him the 49ers resigning him. But hopefully that game that was gonna be a tough game. I don't know, partner, we could win that one.
Well, again, the Rams swept the 49ers last season. We all remember the close game in SoFi last year, week 3. Oh, sorry, week 4. Rams beat the 49ers by a field goal. And then the Thursday night rematch in San Francisco, where they beat them by a field goal and they swept the season series for the first time in about 6 years. But again, Christian McCaffrey is coming back. Brock Purdy's coming back.
Everybody's healthy.
So there's still going to be some familiar faces, but the question is it the same 49er team that went to the Super Bowl last year or a couple years ago? We'll just have to
Yeah,
wait and see.
remember they released Debo Samuel?
And that's going to be the wild card there. We've seen how Brock Purdy plays with Debo. He struggles without him, so that's going to be a big catch there. But again, the Rams looks like they improved more on defense this year with their draft picks. Also, a rumor is going around with Jalen Ramsey gone from Miami. There's a possibility that he might come back here. So hopefully, Ram Nation, we keep our fingers crossed and hope that he comes home. You know, we need him. He's a leader. He's won a Super
Oh,
Bowl. He
now
knows.
Ramsey come back to LA.
Yeah, come back indeed, Mr. Ramsey. Moving on, week 6, they go to Baltimore, partner. That's a tough
Oh,
one.
that's a tough one. I see that. I see a loss in that
Might
one.
feel long. Right,
Yeah,
well, partner, last time they were there, everyone counted the Rams out, but they went to overtime. They lost on a punt return, which, they had many chances to win that game.
yeah, clear.
So, I mean, we'll see how Baltimore is again. Baltimore lost to the Bills in the divisional round last year, and again, Mark Andrews, that pivotal drop to send the game to overtime. I'm sure he's still haunted by that, but at least he'll get a crack to play a good team and see if he can make up for that. And then, as we get near the first half of the season, the week 7, they take on the Jaguars, and that's their first international game as they go into London.
Partner.
First international game since I believe 2021 or 2018.
Yeah, about a couple years ago. But partner, we might have to take a trip to London and go support our Rams out there.
Yeah, we gotta get our passports ready because I heard the dollar pound is different there. Also, keep in mind the last time these two teams played was a couple years ago, the Super Bowl year. That was when they obliterated the Jaguars. I believe it was 48-14. But uh, questions here I see is Trevor Lawrence. Of course he missed the rest of the season, and Jacksonville struggled. They have a new coach, new players. So I mean, this could be a walk in the park, or maybe it could not.
And they
Again, the Jaguars one of the or one of those teams in the league that's been to London. So
and Jaguars drafted that first round pick, Travis Hunter, who could play center back and wide receiver.
yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But as you see after that game, they'll have a bye week,
I think
and then
the bye week on early halfway mid during the season is pretty good.
well, keep in mind, anytime a team goes national, they get a bye week because of the time change they got to get accustomed to. So that's why they'll have a bye week there. After the bye week, they will return home on November 2nd. They take on the New Orleans Saints. And partner, we saw this last week. Derek Carr on Mother's Day announced he was retiring because of a shoulder injury. It seemed the injury was more severe than it was first thought.
Yeah, and him coming off a lot of injuries in these last couple of years, even when he left that Raiders last year. So I'm not surprised because shoulder injuries could be deadly, especially him who's been in the league for a long time. I think it's better health than anything else.
The tough thing I see here is he had 11 years experience, but only two playoff appearances. It just shows, what kind of career he would have had. Everyone figured he was going to have a better career when he came to the Saints because of his athleticism when it comes to throwing the ball. But again, I remember a quarterback, Chad Pennington. He came out of Marshall. He came in with an arm, and then he started having shoulder problems, and he was just never the same. And because of that, sadly, his career came to an end short. So we're seeing it here again. And then on Saints, they have three quarterbacks, no wins. So I mean, this should be an easy win. Again, last year the Rams went into New Orleans and they beat them 21-14. Also, that was without Carr. So I mean, that was very shocking that it was so close, knowing that was should have been a walk in the park.
I agree with that one. That should have been a walk in the park. But coming into this season, I think we should get that victory if we come in here healthy and with a good chemistry building halfway through the bye week. After the bye week, I think we should be good.
After the Saints partner, they go to Santa Clarita to take on the Niners on November 9th. That's a Fox game. Again, this it's always tough and always close between these two teams. No matter who has the edge, it's always going to be a close game between these two teams.
Yes, always partner, always that 49ers and Rams games are always that rivalry. A lot of things go down on the field, off the field, hoping Rams take that victory.
And keep in mind, the Rams have won the last three meetings against the 49ers after the Niners have beat them six times in a row. And then this is the crucial part of the schedule. So they have the Niners, and then they're going to play their former teammate Cooper Kupp on November 16 at home. Cooper Kupp, his first appearance at SoFi as an opposing player as they take on the Seahawks. But partner, no Geno Smith. I mean, Sam Darnold. I mean, how good is this combination going to be with Cooper Kupp, knowing that he's going to play a team that's known him his whole career?
I think uh I think Cooper Kupp is gonna go off on the Rams. I think he's gonna go for like a couple touchdowns, couple receiving because Seahawks, that's their main guy. He's gonna be that main guy, and you can't forget about Jackson Smith, Najee, who did awesome last year. So those two combo with Sam Darnold might surprise a lot of people this year. But hopefully the Rams could overcome that and actually take that away from the Seahawks.
Well, Sam Darnold again, very surprisingly, was released by the Vikings. I mean, we all knew that was going to happen, but there was still a glimmer of hope that they would work out a contract. But reports came out during off season that so both sides weren't able to come up with anything, so they decided to split. Now, I think Seattle won the big prize here. And not only him, they brought in a former teammate, a former Ram in Cooper Kupp. So we'll see how this team plays with this receiving core, and then after that, then they have another primetime game coming up here on Thanksgiving, Sunday night. They play the Buccaneers. They play their former teammate Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield back. Oh, that's gonna be another tough game, and it's gonna be a Sunday night football game, correct?
Yeah, I believe that's their second game on prime time. I believe they have they have four primetime games I'm counting here. Let's see.
Yeah,
Trying to confirm that. Three. Yeah, they have four primetime games, and that's the second of the three, which is against the Buccaneers. I believe that's Thanksgiving night. That's the last game on Sunday night.
that's awesome.
Again, they're playing Baker Mayfield. How good is Baker Mayfield gone since he's been a Buck?
Yeah, I think since Sean McVay revived his career, he's back.
We all know how his career started. The game winning pass to Van Jefferson on the Thursday night game too on prime time. So Baker Mayfield has it up there. So that's one game I'm looking to see. And then
It's gonna be a good,
after that, go ahead, partner. I'm sorry.
it's gonna be a good Thanksgiving this year then, especially
Yeah,
with Rams victory after some stuffing. Woo!
Ram Nation, get your tickets, come out there because we need Ram Nation here. We need Rams house. Again, whose house? Rams house, partner.
You know it.
Moving on. So after Thanksgiving on the 30th, they take on the Panthers in Carolina, partner. That should be a winnable game. They're playing a team that's rebuilding. And
I
then we go into the month of December, which is a crucial schedule. Um, On December 7th, they take on their first meeting in the Arizona Cardinals. We saw what happened last season in Arizona, 48-21, but Arizona's season kind of like fell apart after. It's always tough when these two teams play, though.
Yeah, another divisional game, which is gonna be quite a battle between these teams. Kyle Murray always loses uses his legs, and we'll see what Stafford and the Rams could do.
And we remember Christmas week last season, part of these two teams played on a Saturday night, and it was a very close one. Weatherspoon, the game-winning interception in the end zone to secure a 13-9 victory that actually gave them the division because Seattle lost that same weekend.
Yeah, so that
So
was a
to me,
big
that was the game that clinched the division for them.
yeah, and after that, Cardinals just fell apart.
Kyle Murray is healthy. I'm sure he's going to be a he. Here's the thing: Arizona's always started off strong, but they always have a slip in the second half of the season. That's something they're going to have to work on. They're a young football team, but they're going to have to work on that if they want to be a playoff contention this season in 2025. And after Arizona, they come home on the 14th of December. They take on Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. Partner, this was a rematch from opening night last season where the Rams lost in overtime. Again, they also played on wild card weekend the year before that. So we'll just see how that goes.
Nice. Yeah, that's gonna be another great game. When Jared Goff is always back at SoFi, it's a good game.
Meanwhile, after that, they play the Seahawks on Thursday night, prime time against Seattle in Seattle, partner. Tough one to play in Seattle, right?
Yeah, another one back at Seattle in that tough environment, number 12, and Cooper Cup. Once again, we're gonna have to face him. It could be a pivotal game in these last upcoming weeks in that division round.
And their final primetime game will be on after Christmas on the 29th against the Falcons in Atlanta. That one's a tough one. Raheem Morris, their old defensive coordinator.
Yeah, in Atlanta, we did a lot of trades with them in the draft lottery this year, so we'll see what they could bring. Because I believe if Falcons have a bad season this year, we take their first round or second round pick from them.
Second, first round, and then partner for the finale is at SoFi. It's a flex game, so we don't know, so we can't really tell what day it'll be on, but it's one of those flex games, so we'll see what time they'll play. But it's against Arizona. Always a tough one when it comes to these division rival teams.
I agree, partner. That one could be another tough, pivotal game. As we see, we play a lot of division or rival games in these last 5, 6 weeks of the season.
Well, with this schedule, partner, what do you see the Rams' schedule record this season?
I could see the Rams honestly taking on politely 10, 11 wins.
I could see. Well, the sports analysis has projected. I think CBS Sports projected the Rams to go to be the seventh seed, so most likely either a 10-7 or a 9-8 record. I'm gonna go above and say, uh, I'm gonna say 11-6.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, I
I
have
think
that.
11 and 6, 11 and 6. But I mean, as far as the title, the division title, I mean, it's going to be hard to call, but I'm going to have to say they'll win the division again. I don't see Seattle catching up to the Rams. And then I think it's just going to come down to the 49ers because it always has these last few years. I know last season it came down to Seattle, but it's always been between the Rams and the 49ers and the Seahawks, these three teams.
Yeah, but now I think it's just the 49ers and Seahawks, but it depends how McCaffrey comes back from that injury. We'll see how he does. That could be a big effect on the 49ers because without him, I don't think they could really do it as much as other contending teams.
Well, how confident are you, partner, with this offense and Stafford, Williams, Puka Nakua, with Devontae Adams, and then also Tyler Higbee coming back in rotation?
And I
How
love
good is this team's going to be?
And I love our addition. We added a tight end who could block. He's super athletic. He's tall. He could do it all. He could help us a lot in that offensive scheme. Especially you just mentioned Davante Adams, a huge pick in the offseason, which nobody didn't think was gonna happen, honestly. And the Rams made it happen once again. Shout out to the GM. Shout out to everybody behind the doors in the Rams office because
And how about the Rams, partner, doing their draft in the war room at the fire station? That was pretty cool.
I gotta support the firemen out there, LA, especially that tough year we've been through last season, and they went to.
Yes, the wildfires. Yes, we do want to extend our gratitude and sincere gratefulness to everyone, the LAPD, the LA Sheriffs, the LA Fire Department, everyone that was involved in the efforts of recovering and cleanup crews. We thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We know that it's a tough year, but LA can be strong. LA will be rebuilt, and hopefully the Los Angeles Rams can bring a Super Bowl here this season or next season. But final thoughts, partner. Out of this schedule game, what are you looking forward the most?
It's gonna. It's a great schedule, I believe. But that for sure that week 30, the Eagles, we want that rematch. We want that payback. You can't forget that, and you can't count out the Thursday night football games, which are
I'm
prime time as
actually,
well.
I'm actually want to look forward to the Baltimore game because again, the last time these two teams played, it was overtime. They lost. The Rams lost on the punt return.
Yeah, I agree that that's gonna be another great game. But actually, it's gonna be a tough one for us, and hopefully we could take that victory.
One thing that the Rams can do well, if the Rams can stop the defense, I mean, they can be a great team because we saw the running backs last year. I know McCaffrey was hurt though, but we saw Barkley, we saw a couple years ago Derrick Henry in Baltimore. The Rams have a problem with the stopping the run, and sometimes when you can't stop the run, the passing game becomes available. So if they can just limit teams to one dimension, I could see them winning more games. They could be the one seed. I mean, you look at last year's record, partner. There were maybe about 3 or 4 games that they could have won that they were very close.
Right.
You look at the game in Chicago, that game was close.
Mm-hmm.
The game in Detroit, that one was
Out of
close.
them, yeah. So
I
that's why
believe the game against Green Bay, they could have won that one easily.
I agree, partner. That's why I'm super confident that we could hit that 10 wins or more. So
McVay was more mad about after that game because he was upset with these losses because he knew he had a great team and they could have won this game. But again, they were playing with a limited amount of players because the injury bug hurt them in the beginning, and that's what got them to a slow start. But one thing you need to remember, the last 2 years they won this division because they had strong second half seasons.
Mhm.
You cannot win if you get off to a slow start every year. They've gotten lucky these last 2 years, but they're gonna have to do what other teams do: get off to strong starts. You got to start in September because you look at this schedule. This is not a favorable schedule to get off to a rough start, especially the first 5 games, and then you're looking at the last 6 games of the season. So it's very important that everyone stays healthy. Matthew Stafford stays healthy. Puka Nakua stays healthy. But I'm looking at the running backs. Williams, he's got to hold on to the ball. He's had fumble issues the last 2 seasons, and it's hurt his chances. They become a one-dimensional team when they struggle with the run. They have to run the ball. That's what McVay has been about. Sean McVay's offense. That's why they won the Super Bowl. That's why they've been successful with golf because they ran the ball. They're gonna have to do that again because Stafford is up in age and he's not the fast, mobile quarterback as Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes. So the Rams have to run the ball, partner. That's my expectation. They gotta run it.
I love the offensive mind, but I want to talk a little bit at as the defense as well. And I think I'm more excited about the defense this year as we added some quite great additions in this offseason, in which will help first Brandon Fisk and that deadly off defensive line that we have. Can't forget Kobe Turner, of course, the conductor. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about the defense this year, and especially we're gonna add Jalen Ramsey. Ooh, we're gonna look deadly. Even if our offense start off slow, I think our defense could back us up at any moment of the season. That's how confident I'm just excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at for that defense. I'm also looking at Burst. I mean, he had a great year. I believe he won Rookie of the Year if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Defensive rookie of the year, yes, sir.
I mean, he's got Aaron Donald in him. So I mean, we found a replacement for him, but still, it's still difficult to play without Aaron Donald. It's still hard to believe that he's not there. But I'm sure if he can become a coach, I'm sure he'll be able to build his defense up to its capabilities. But
100%.
one thing I want to do talk about is the linemen. I think they're more important than the offensive weapons. They have to protect Stafford and they have to open up the holes for the running game to go into effect. Otherwise, it's just going to be a long season for the Los Angeles Rams.
I agree that you can't forget about that O line, man, which is crucial. That has affected a lot of plays or these last couple of years. But I think if they keep the chemistry going and they all stay on the same page, we could have a good, healthy, strong offensive season with them.
Perfect. That is awesome too. And again, this is the first episode here on our YouTube channel. No, time's starting to run a little bit low here, but we're still continuing to make improvements on the show. But want to thank you guys for tuning in our debut show here. It's something that we've been working on for months, and we're happy that it's working. We want you guys to subscribe and click on the bell to be notified. Anytime you see any episodes up here, it'll be uploaded on YouTube. It's free. Also, you can also check us out on Podbean, Sports Talk with Ed. We're both co-hosts of that show. You can also check that out as well. This episode will be also on available on that podcast, so you can watch it either way. But partner, any final thoughts on our opening show, our inaugural show?
Great debut with you, partner. Hopefully, this is the first show of many, and each show is gonna get better and better and progress. And love it. Excited for the Rams season and Rams house.
Yeah, tune into us weekly. We'll have episodes weekly here on YouTube. Also, continue to listen to us on